Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2019 CVC Volleyball Tournament. Tonight's quarterfinal match will be between the third seed Juniata College Eagles and the sixth seeded Ramapo College Roadrunners. Introducing the starting lineups first for the Roadrunners of Ramapo.
Welcome back to the campus of Rockbridge County High School here for the second game of the first round of the CVC tournament as the number 5 Ramapo Roadrunners take on the number 3 ranked Juniata College Eagles. Chris Fly alongside Dawson Weidrich. Dawson, we saw a great game earlier as the College of Rutgers Newark was taken down by the Marymount Saints, but Dawson headed into this game. Juniata, a formidable opponent for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, you have Joe Fick first team, Quinn Peterson first team for all CVC honors, Kevin Duffy third team, David Hibner third team. You have a lot of great talent on this Juniata team. Again, like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that we're in the top 20 earlier this season.
And also, not to mention, with Ramapo, you also had first team Eric Van Thun. But now going with the Juniata Eagles, so many players, like you mentioned, with so much talent on this team. Warrant to mention, this team used to be ranked nationally, just fell out about a month and a half ago, but now looking to take down the Ramapo Roadrunners.
And they are the higher seeded team in this tournament so far in this game. And again, they have a lot of talent, but the main focus for Juniata this week, or at least Coach DeHaven said, was getting healthy. They had a lot of things going wrong for their team. Number 19, Joe Fick, who's first team, he broke his nose last week. And they just recently played against Ramapo, and so getting healthy was a big factor for them in trying to make sure that they rebounded from all these injuries that they've had and making sure that they're as healthy as they could be coming in this game.
And Dawson, coming into this game, the Eagles of Juniata are 20-7 overall, 9-2 in CVC conference play. The only 2 losses fell to Kane and Southern Virginia. And Dawson, of course, the winner of this game tonight will go on to face Kane tomorrow night. The Saints of Marymount, after beating the Scarlet Raiders of Rutgers Newark, will face off against the number 1 seeded Knights. Again, the winner of this game facing off against the number 2 seeded, the Cougars of Kane, who are also ranked 7th in the nation.
And those second round games are going to be tough games for both Marymount and for whoever wins this game between Juniata and Ramapo, because Kane and Southern Virginia University are such formidable opponents. Again, top 10 ranked teams. And again, it's just going to be such a tough tournament, but it's such a great conference. Such great teams coming in here, competing at such a high level. Again, we saw a great matchup. Again, we mentioned earlier, Marymount and Rutgers Newark having a back and forth battle that literally no one seemed to have an edge until Marymount took it later in that game.
And Dawson, Marymount did come out at the end of it. It was them basically the entire time, hard-fought matchup. But all the focus right here, right now. Second game of the first round, the Roadrunners of Ramapo looking to come into here and upset the Eagles of Juniata. And Dawson, you mentioned the Kane Cougars. The winner of this matchup tonight between the Roadrunners and the Eagles will face off against the Cougars. The Cougars just made their way into the gym to watch this game, scouting out and praying on who they're going to be picking off in the semifinals.
I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to figure out who your opponent is. I mean, all these teams know each other. All these teams have played each other. But again, if you're Kane, you're coming in here and seeing which of these teams has gotten better, what they've done differently, and what they can expect to see in the second round.
And Dawson, just to go back, just talk a little bit more about the Cougars of Kane. Again, ranked 7th in the nation. They're the 2nd seed heading into the CVC tournament. Had a first round bye. There's a very good possibility that the Southern Virginia Knights and the Kane Cougars face off in the finale. Not if any of these teams have anything to say about it, but the SVU and the Cougars of Kane, such big rivals both in the regular season and heading into playoff time. But again, focus on this match today, especially the focus of the Cougars of Kane. Will they face off against the Roadrunners of Ramapo or the Eagles of Juniata? Dawson, what do you think is crucial for Juniata to be able to do during this game? Who do they need to play through to be able to make an impact with formidable Roadrunner squad, and likewise for Ramapo?
We got multiple players, and all these players are the ones that we mentioned having CVC honors this season. Got Joe Fick, who has 255 kills in the season. He had 23 service aces, 133 digs. And Quinn Peterson leads the team, Quinn Peterson anyway, with 294 kills in the season. He is their go-to guy for kills. And you have other great role players like Kevin Duffy. He has 80 total blocks on the season, 27 of them being solo blocks. And then David Hibner with also having 79 total blocks. You have some great blocking ability in this Juniata squad, a lot of height and a lot of length.
just like that, the Eagles of Juniata respond. Dawson Ramapo able to draw first blood on what was a great play on their part. We just talked about what the Eagles need to do to come out and win this game. Ramapo Roadrunners have one real go-to guy. That's number 6, Eric Van Thyn, the outside hitter junior from Newtown, Pennsylvania. How important is his productivity for the Roadrunners in this matchup with the Eagles?
Well, he's first team all CVC. He's the only one in his team to get those honors this season. Again, Ramapo has a lot of great players, but only one able to get that honor. But again, he's the go-to guy. He clicks, Ramapo clicks. That's just how it works. And so with that burden, he's got a lot of pressure on him. But I feel like the way that he's played all season, he could perform and carry his team today.
Van Thyn getting the dig there. Attack coming for the Roadrunners. That one hit too far, and Dawson Juniata now up 3-1 over top of the Roadrunners. I talked to head coach of the Roadrunners, Mike Herchkovic, about what he needs to do in this game and what's their focus heading into it. And he mentioned a lot about the young players. Didn't mention the name of Eric Van Thyn too much. Eric Van Thyn being a junior, you have so much young talent on this Ramapo squad. You'd have to think that in the coming years they're going to be a formidable squad in the CVC.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we mentioned before multiple times in these broadcasts that the CVC is full of situations like that with upcoming talent, upcoming players, and a lot of potential for growth. I mean, there's a couple of these programs that are fairly new programs, and so a lot to prove in a couple of years, and a lot of things being accomplished in the short time they've been around.
And that time, number 7, Kevin Duffy, freshman standing at 6'6" from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, putting that one down. And the name of the Eagles so far, Juniata leads the Roadrunners 4-2 in the first set. And now we see number 19, Joe Fick, junior from Venetia, Pennsylvania, with the serve. That one falling just inside for Fick, so the first service ace of tonight, and it belongs to the Juniata Eagles, and in particular, their go-to guy, Joe Fick.
And you mentioned Kevin Duffy earlier, and he's the middle blocker in there. One of the things that Coach DeHaven said when I talked to him was they needed to establish the middle today. And that is all about Kevin Duffy. That is his job. That is his place to take control of the middle. Like he did just then, getting that block straight down. They have to go through him. Only a freshman standing at 6'6".
And Dawson, Kevin Duffy, only a freshman, but CVC third team. So in his first year NCAA Division III athletics, making an impact in one of the toughest volleyball conferences in the nation. We mentioned this before in the last game with Marymount. The CVC, one of the most formidable conferences in the NCAA in terms of Division III. You have 2 teams that are nationally ranked within the top 10, those being the Cougars of Kane and the Southern Virginia Knights. But the Eagles of Juniata, like we mentioned, were nationally ranked in the top 25 about a month and a half ago into the season. Slipped in an unfortunate number of games and slipped out of the top 25. But this team has the ability and the capability to make those big plays, to run away with any game that they get their hands on. And so far, it's 7-3. The Eagles with a commanding lead over top of the Roadrunners of Rampino. Back to serve now, Kevin Duffy. And again, he's had a heck of a game so far. Duffy. Roadrunners trying to attack. At that time, Thyn just having a hit it over. Way too strong coming up the hands of number 12, Quinn Peterson. Dawson, first time we mentioned Peterson's name today, but he is one of those impact players for the Eagles. He too was CVC first team.
He was. I mean, he's had a great season. I mentioned his kills before, leading the team in kills of 294, 21 service aces, 131 digs. And I mean, we talk about Eric Van Thyn being the star of Ramapo, being the guy who gets them clicking. With Juniata, they have 4 of those guys. They have 4 guys that on any given night can take over and be the star of the game. And Quinn Peterson is one of them.
Quinn Peterson, absolutely one of those. The Roadrunners of Rampino need to keep an eye on Quinn Peterson. Rampino putting one on the board. It was number 11. That is Stefan Cadispodo, the junior from Massapequa, New York. At that time, hitting it too far, the junior. 8-5 Juniata College. Back to serve now for the Eagles is number 9. This is Michael Young, designated server, a junior from Westlake Village, California. That one falls just inside. Number 9, Jason Vanderbilt, putting that one down.
That was perfect, right in that back corner. A beautiful hit. And Juniata, the players for Juniata just couldn't help but just stare in disbelief and in awe of that great hit.
Serving now number 12, Connor Charlo. Great dig by the Eagles. Can't get a hand on it as it falls into the stands. And just like that, Dawson Rampino makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah, it would not be an intelligent move to try to dive into those stands for sure. You would definitely get hurt right there. I mean, you already have a player with a broken nose being number 19, Joe Fick. So you don't want any more of that.
And Dawson, you mentioned the name Joe Fick. It's a name that we expect to say a lot during this broadcast. CVC first team, a great outside hitter for this squad. But like you said, broke his nose. And just very recently broke his nose with that injury. We saw him in warm-ups wearing a mask, trying to see how he'd play with that. He's on the court right now not wearing it. Interesting to see how much his nose comes into effect in his style of play in the game. That one just wide. Point goes to Juniata.
Well, you can imagine that Joe Fick's going to duck quite a bit when things go towards his way. I mean, you don't want to break your nose multiple times in a short period of time. You don't want to break anything multiple times in a short period of time.
Back to serve now, number 4. This is Sean Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh with a dig. Likewise, Rampino. Just falls in for Quinn Peterson. Point goes to Juniata. Juniata College leading 10-8 over top of the Roadrunners of Ramapo. A really unfortunate play there on the side of the Eagles, just coming off a couple of their players, but Dawson still a 1-point game. Juniata holding this lead so far, keeping back the pressure of Rampino.
Yeah, Ramapo doing a great job of fighting back. I mean, on paper, it looks like Juniata should be running away with this, but Ramapo doing a great job of battling back and making things interesting.
Checking back into this game is CVC third team Kevin Duffy. Freshman from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, standing there at the front line, but now serving number 20. Another CVC third team, David Hibner, a junior standing at 6 for 6 from Burke, Virginia. Back to serve now, number 6, Eric Van Thyn. Too far and away, out of the reach of number 19, Joe Fick. Point Roadrunners tied up 11 apiece.
And to say that a set is too high for Joe Fick, you can tell on the stream, but he's got some hops. He gets up there and he doesn't ever come down.
Van Thyn forcing a play from the Eagles. What a well-placed ball that was from Joe Fick, Dawson. When he jumped up, didn't look like he had the power behind it, but the placement was there.
And I love the effort, though, of number 16, Tyler Plitt, in order to dive in there. Although I do believe that the ball might have gone out of bounds had he just left it alone.
Service error for the Eagles. Dawson now back to serve number 15, Andrew Finnegan. And when I talk to Ramapo head coach Parovchek before this game, he mentioned those freshmen, those being 15, Andrew Finnegan, and number 16, Tyler Plitt. One at the libero, one at the outside hitter. He mentioned that these are going to be the building blocks in the coming years for this team. You're still going to have Eric Van Thyn. He's only a junior. He's got one more year in NCAA Division III athletics. So a sturdy squad that Ramapo has to build upon in the coming years.
That reaction, sorry about that, Chris, that reaction from number 7, Kevin Duffy, in order to get that up in the first place was fantastic, but Ramapo able to take advantage of that.
And that was number 11, Steven Cotespoto at the end of that one. That's served by Finnegan into the net, so a service error for the Roadrunners. Ramapo leads 14-13 in the first set. Again, the first round, second game of the CVC tournament hosted by Rockbridge County High School and the Southern Virginia Knights. What a dig by number 18, Daniel Voronov. There's Van Fine.
There's a reason he's first team all CVC. He's got such power behind him. He's able to get those solid hits when it counts. And, you know, he's got Ramapo in a groove right now.
And Dawson, you look at Eric Van Fine, you think he's an outside hitter, he's a junior, but he's a little bit undersized, only at 6 foot. You look at other outside hitters across the CVC and really across the nation, 6'2", 6'3", and over. So to be able to have the productivity that he has at that position at the height he is absolutely amazing and a tribute to his work ethic.
It really is. I mean, you know, there's tons of athletes out there that I've always been told they're undersized, they're not tall enough, they're not big enough, they're not strong enough. And those are the athletes that work the hard, or tend to work the hardest. Not always the case, but tend to. And Eric Van Fine, like you just said, is a pure example of that.
Juniata tied up 15-15. Now back to serve number 7, Kevin Duffy. Taking a little bit of time to mop up some sweat left up on the floor. We just saw Ramapo. I believe it was number 11 on that squad, Stephen Cotespoto, just taking a dive, sliding across, take a little bit of time to clean that up. But Dawson, when things get back started, it'll be number 7, Kevin Duffy. Ready to play now, Kevin Duffy behind the line. 15-15 tied up. What a play by Ramapo. Cotespoto at the end of that one.
Beautiful first ball kill. The ideal situation every coach loves to see. You just get an opportunity to attack and run it to perfection.
And Dawson, it wasn't very long ago that these two teams met up for the first regular season matchup, just April 5th, when the Juniata Eagles took on the Roadrunners of Ramapo. Juniata Eagles getting the better of the Roadrunners in that last one, 3-0. But so far, Ramapo coming into this game, much like the Saints of Marymount did, because they lost against Rutgers Newark, and proving that they're not a team that's going to be swept again.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's that revenge mentality. You know, whenever someone beats you in any sport, anywhere you go, there's bitterness towards them. You want to get back at them. And so you got to know that Ramapo was studying some film on that, or studying what they did in that game and trying to improve on what they were successful at and get rid of what they weren't.
Served by Michael Young. At that time, it's Connor Charlo putting it down. And Dawson on that last one, Charlo now picking up his first kill of the game.
You know, there wasn't a lot of power behind that hit, but it was just very well placed.
And just like that, Charlo also picks up a service ace. While we're on the topic of Connor Charlo, he's a sophomore standing at 6'7" from Towson, Maryland. Formerly played his ball at Calvert Hall High School. Now with the Ramapo Roadrunners in this game, just in the last couple of points, he's been the driving engine. Juniata responding, that time number 12, Quinn Peterson.
Yeah, that, you know, I keep saying that a lot of hits have a lot of power behind them. That was definitely one of them. That was just beautiful. Got right up there, great hops, perfect positioning, perfectly placed.
Will happen with the serve. Eagles trying to keep it alive, just 3'd over. A Ramapo attack. Peterson. That one had a lot of strength behind it. Quinn Peterson for the Eagles, his 4th kill of the day.
Juniata realizing that they haven't been quite playing to their full potential so far in this game and starting to wake up to that and make it some place of their own.
How about that from Van Fine? Dawson, the 6' junior, got up there. It didn't seem like he wanted to come down.
I mean, he has the hopping ability. There's a lot of athletes in this conference. I mean, you need a stopwatch to figure out. I mean, it goes over like 10 seconds. It feels like that they're in the air. They're just up there forever.
Still a 1-point game. Dawson, these teams going back and forth. Neither team able to get on a substantial run as of late. 1-point game. Ramapo leads the Juniata College Eagles 19-20. in the first set. Just came off the hands of number 9, Jason Vanderbilt.
It was kind of an awkward situation, kind of leaned back a little bit, jumped off of 1 foot, and it went right into the hands of the blockers right there.
Quick play almost resulted in a spike down and a kill for the Ramapo Roadrunners, but instead, the Juniata College Eagles taking their first lead in a couple of points, 21-20, over top of the Roadrunners of Ramapo. Dawson, a really back and forth contest between that. No real player standing out besides maybe Quinn Peterson of the Eagles. 4 kills on the night. Right behind him, Eric Van Thyn with 3 of Ramapo. Do we expect the other all-stars on this team, like Kevin Duffy, like Joe Fick, David Hibner, to make themselves more evident in this game? Because right now it's been all Quinn Peterson for the Eagles.
You'll probably have players like Quinn Peterson taking over one game and then Joe Fick take over the next. And then Sean Cavanaugh or even Kevin Duffy take over the next. I mean, I feel like it's really back and forth who takes the charge for each set because they're going to really have to feel for each other who's playing well and who's not.
And Dawson, it'll be interesting to see what Ramapo do. They really have that one all-star in Eric Van Thyn. Coach mentioned some of the freshmen. But do we think that Eric Van Thyn is going to have to shoulder this team and will them to victory? Or is there someone on this team that sticks out to you on the roster that can come up and be that hero that the Roadrunners need?
Well, I think not one particular person exactly, but you're seeing a lot of great teamwork from Ramapo. I mean, you've seen a lot of great work from number 12, Connor Carlisle, and then you'll also see from number 9, Jason Vanderwilt. So a lot of players contributing to help out Eric Van Thyn in this effort. And so if Ramapo is going to take away this game, it's even this first set, it's going to have a combined effort.
Van Thyn just put down his 5th kill of the night, now back behind the line for service for the Ramapo Roadrunners. 21 apiece, Juniata College Eagles, the Ramapo College Roadrunners. Too far by Van Thyn. Back to serve now for the Eagles. Number 12, Quinn Peterson. Point goes to the Eagles.
That just sounded like it came off awkwardly off of his hand, just off the side to the right.
Well, Dawson, the Roadrunners have been looking for their number 9, Jason Vanderbilt. Just so far today, not able to get anything started. Quinn Peterson skyrocketing that one. Keep it a 1-point game, 23-22. But going back to what just previously mentioned, the Ramapo College Roadrunners looking for their number 9, Jason Vanderbilt. Yet to get anything on the board so far, only 2 kills. Hasn't hit a very high hitting percentage. It stays at 0. Finnegan with a serve. Peterson. That one's blocked by the Roadrunners. Tie it up 23s.
Man, if that doesn't give you energy on your sideline, I don't know what will. Because again, this is Juniata, a team that's been in the top 25, fluctuating in the top 25 all season long. And to be in a tie matchup like this in a conference tournament game, it's got to have you excited.
And Dawson is to a team that you've already beaten previously within this season. It wasn't just but a couple of days ago, like we mentioned, April 5th, the last time these two squads faced off against each other in that matchup. Juniata coming out with the win, 3-0 over top of the Roadrunners. But right now, the Roadrunners of Ramapo putting up a fight against nationally acclaimed Juniata.
They really are. I mean, and again, I mentioned before, it's been an all-out effort. They've been finding different open guys and been finding people who have plays they know that they can execute perfectly, and then Juniata sometimes had some trouble responding. But at the same time, Juniata has so much talent that they're not just going to sit down and let great teamwork take them out. They're going to do their best, execute to the best of their ability, and work on all the things that Coach DeHaven has helped them to execute throughout the season.
Number 19, Joe Fick of the Eagles, check back into this game. You'd think he's going to be the one to step up and really pull. If someone's going to pull it out, it would be Joe Fick. Ball comes straight to him. And that's who they look for, Joe Fick. Just like that, Joe Fick in the game. putting one down for the Eagles, and now a set point opportunity for Juniata College, 24-23 over top of the Roadrunners.
You know, people talk about the announcer's curse. I'm pretty sure you just blessed him just then with that. So, congratulations to you, Chris.
I will give out your welcomes already. Thank you. You're welcome. Now Joe Fick back to serve for the Juniata College Eagles. Set point opportunity and set number 1. Juniata looking to take set number 1 in the first round of the CVC tournament as they face off against the Roadrunners of Ramapo. Just long, Dawson. We are talking about inches on that one. So close to finishing out the set. Instead, tied up 24-24. First team's win by 2. Back to serve, Roadrunners number 9, Jason Vanderwilt. Vanderwilt responds. Service ace for the big man.
I'm not quite sure why Juniata decided to let that go. I mean, it did slant down at the last second, had some great top spin on it, but it really did not look like it was going out very easily from my perspective.
And Dawson Metaphors head coach Glenn DeHaven of Juniata College to take a timeout. It's set point opportunity for the Roadrunners. What does Juniata need to do to get back in this game, get themselves an opportunity like they had just moments ago at another set point for the Eagles?
I think right now they kind of just need to get out of their head, because a couple plays ago you saw Quinn Peterson have that serve that went way too far out. I guess he was very angry at himself. And so you have to just kind of forgive yourself, move on to the next play. And at some points it looked like Juniata hadn't been able to do that. And so if they can just pull themselves out of that, get back to executing the plays like they can, get back to Quinn Peterson and Joe Fick. I mean, Joe Fick, first moment he came in, he had a perfect kill. And so if you get back to plays like that, you can take away this first set with ease.
And Dawson, even though the Juniata College Eagles are down, they've played this team before and they've won. They've shown us the ability to pull games out. They're nationally acclaimed for a reason. They're a team and that can get it done. Like you said, it's just a matter of execution. Back to serve now for the Roadrunners, number 9. Still Jason Vanderbilt. Last time he was behind the line, picked up a service ace for his squad. Great dig, number 18, Daniel Vonarov. Peterson. Right back in it are the Eagles. It'll go down as a kill for Peterson, but it was really a missed block for the Rampano College Roadrunners.
Yeah, they just mistimed that block, mistimed the jump. They're already on their way down by the time the ball had hit their hands, and therefore going down on their side.
Checking out of the game for the Eagles is number 7, Kevin Duffy. Really interesting substitution. The freshman middle blocker from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, takes a seat, and in his stead, number 3, Bryce Workman, senior from Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Listed as a libero, but coming in now, more of a designated server. Tied up 25s. How about Charlo? Dawson, so far, Connor Charlo getting it done at that middle blocker position for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, he's really been a spark for them. I mean, he's made some great plays. He's brought some great energy. After each and every play, going back to his teammates, pumping them up. He's been stellar for them so far.
Set point opportunity for Rampano. Peterson trying to keep it alive. Attack coming from the Roadrunners. Who else? Number 6, Eric Van Thyn.
I mean, beautiful execution there. Who better to end that first set than Eric Van Thyn? The great play on the far side.
And Dawson, that'll bring an end to the first set. Eric Van Thyn, 5 kills on the night. And on that first set alone, he's tied up with Eagles number 12, Quinn Peterson. These are 2 first-team CVC guys facing off against each other. Also, Joe Fick, who might be on a minutes restriction due to his broken nose that he suffered literally moments ago, really, about a week ago or so. For the Roadrunners, they would take set 1. Dawson, what do Juniata need to do to ensure that what happened in the first set doesn't happen, they don't lose their head?
Well, they need to understand where they can attack. I mean, right now, number 12 for Ramapo, Connor Charlo is having himself a game. He's getting some great blocks. He's closing those gaps. You have to go away from him. You have to find some guys that are away from these setup too. And it wouldn't hurt to get those quick sets in the middle, because it might take up some time to get to there. Just get some off-balance play calls going on. And Quinn Peterson has proven to be a factor for them so far whenever they've executed his plays well. And so just keep using him, and whenever Joe Fick is allowed to be in, use him to the most potentially can.
And Dawson, you mentioned running it through the middle, but what about Ramapo middle blocker Connor Charlo in this game? He's registered a couple of blocks, also a couple of kills on his game. Running through the middle, how do you deal with someone with the size of Charlo, but also the placement?
I think what you have to do is you have to have some. Basically, you do it very cleverly. Basically, you have to do it very, very smart. And I feel like DeHaven is going to be very good at that. Get some plays set up to where you get Charlo off balance. You get him mispositioned. You get him on the opposite side of the floor where the play is going to happen. And again, you have to play very smart in order to do that. But if you can't execute that, that is your best chance of getting past that middle blocker.
And Dawson, you just see how they address that situation. They have found success, like you said, with Quinn Peterson. Joe Fick, 3 kills tonight on a full 100 hit percentage. So he's shown Joe Fick, when he gets the opportunity to have the ball in his hands, he more often than not puts it down. And with great placement, and we've noticed throughout this game, the power's not there that he's had throughout the season. Maybe being a little bit cautious, nursing that injury a little bit, but his placement still better than most. This is why he's first team all CVC.
Absolutely. And again, it's just been such a great matchup so far. And for the fact that Ramapo was able to come in here and take that first set from Juniata. Again, we've mentioned multiple times how Juniata took that game just a week ago and get a little taste of revenge. It's going to make them thirsty for more and more. In fact, it's going to make you thirsty for 2 more tastes of that in order to take away this game.
And Dawson, you just look at the overall records for these two teams. Ramapo comes in this game as the underdog, seeded that way lower than Juniata. They're at the 6th seed in the CVC tournament. The Eagles are at the 3rd seed. The Roadrunners were 15-14 overall in the season, 7-4 in CVC play. Juniata came into this 20-7 overall, 9-2 CVC play. The only 2 games they lost were against the Cougars of Kane and the Southern Virginia Knights, who, again, the winner of this game will go on to face Kane in the semifinals. A real underdog story coming from the Roadrunners, but again, you have to think, sooner or later, the waking bear of the Eagles is going to emerge and then come out.
It's going to be a bear eagle, that's for sure. That sounds like a scary thing. I don't think that exists, but you know what? It's going to be very interesting to see how Juniata responds.
Be an interesting mascot. But now the second set's underway, and it starts with Van Thyn of the Roadrunners. Again, the Roadrunners, they will take that first set right from under the noses of the Juniata College Eagles. But now the Eagles looking to come out in this second set with a lot of fire. Getting things started there, number 14, Leland Hackasey.
And that's a good way to respond after a set loss. You set up a good play, get a nice power hit right in the middle. Just a great job executing at the start.
Again, just holding the game a little bit, just to mop up the floor. And get things started again. Number 9, Michael Young, Jr. from Westlake Village, California. What a shot there, number 11, Steven Codespoto.
That's another role player that has made some good plays so far here for Ramapo, is Codespoto. I mean, he's had some great blocks, some great plays from, like you just saw right there.
Andrew Finnegan, the freshman, back to serve. Joe Fick not able to get that one to fall, Dawson, and much to the delight of the Roadrunners. So much power behind that ball.
I do love the fake, though. That's what I'm talking about. You got to set up plays like that where you can get number 12, Charlo, jumping too early. If you can get up in the air too early with that fake, you can get it past him.
So close to a service ace, and indeed it will be. It looked like number 18, Daniel Voronov of Juniata, got a hand on that one. Officials saying differently. So a service ace for number 15, Andrew Finnegan.
And it took them a while to call that. They had to make sure that it actually did touch the ground before they called that.
Service error by Finnegan. 1-point game. Roadrunners up 3-2 over top of the Eagles, and now Finnegan will make his way out. And number 16, another freshman, Tyler Plitt, libero from Manorville, New York, checking in this game. At the libero position, now serving number 14, Leland Haseki. Dawson, it seems They're only down by 2, but the Juniata College Eagles not able to get it started in the second set the way they'd like to and the way they did in the first.
I mean, we're seeing sparks of how they can play, very organized and very calculated. But a lot of these plays, it's been scrambling. It's been hard for them to set up good, positive plays for them.
Vanderbilt serve. Fick. Blocked by the Roadrunners, number 12, Connor Charlo.
Charlo is the monster that is just devastating Juniata right now with his middle blocking ability. He's got such great length and height, but he's just got so much energy and emotion behind it right now, too.
Dawson Charlo appears to be a player that wears his heart on his sleeve. Not afraid to get everyone hyped, both on his team and get into the heads of the opposition right now. A 5-3 game, Juniata College back to serve. Number 20, David Hibner. Again, David Hibner, CVC, all third team. See what he can do here. Vanderbilt just having to 3 that one over, still 5-3. Great dig by the freshman. It falls in. Dawson, a lack of communication on the side of the Eagles. You saw David Hibner had his arms up in the air saying out. Fell just on the line coming off the hands of number 11, Steven Cotaspoto.
We've seen a couple plays like that where the players Juniata have called it out, but it hasn't been. There's been a lack of perception so far as the line is concerned. It's cost them a couple of points.
And Dawson, put yourself in the shoes of head coach Glenn DeHaven of the Juniata College Eagles. So far in this second set, you're only down by 2 still. That's just a testament to how great of a program you are. But your cerebral play hasn't been working out. A lot of lapses of the mind have happened so far. What do you do to get your guys' mind back in it?
Well, sometimes you just kind of have to have a yelling at. You kind of have to figure out, hey, we're better than this. We're better than what we're playing right now. And Juniata is making some plays, but they're not playing to their full potential. Now, Coach DeHaven's going to point that out. He's going to say, we're making mistakes we usually don't. We're doing things we usually don't. We need to play together. We need to play our game. And we need to set up smart plays like we did at the beginning of the first set.
Dawson, coaching also revolves around knowing your guys. Some guys don't respond to yelling like others do. You can yell at a guy, he can come out of his shell, but there's some players need to be coddled just a little bit more. So it'd be interesting to see how much Coach Glenn DeHaven can tap into the emotions of his players to get them back in this game. I know a lot of athletes, especially myself, when I was in high school, I didn't mind getting yelled at, but it's different for everyone.
It absolutely is. I mean, and like you said, Coach DeHaven knows his players. He knows how to motivate them. He knows exactly what's going to work. And each player is different. And so if he's specifically thinking about one player, he might take him aside and say, hey, you need to do this, or talk to him the way that he needs to be talked to. And again, being the smart coach that he is, he'll figure that out.
Coach Glenn DeHaven in his third season as head coach of the Juniata College Eagles, but also Coach Mike Horovchek of the Roadrunners also in his third season. So 2 third-year head coaches facing off against today, and right now the Roadrunners leading over top of the Juniata College Eagles.
And another powerful kill from Eric Van Thyn. I mean, he's had those side angles right there, cross-court angles. He's done it so well today.
Looked like it was almost a great dig by Steven Cotaspoto, but it was just a good placed finish by number 7, Kevin Duffy of the Eagles. And now Duffy back behind the line for service. Dawson, so far in this game, Kevin Duffy, not the greatest time behind service, but just doing a good job of getting playable balls in. Still alive for the Eagles, having to 3 it over. Attack coming from the Roadrunners. Just wide by Cotaspoto. Point goes down for the Eagles. 1-point game. And Dawson, it seems like so far, even though a lot of the calls and plays have gone in favor of the Roadrunners, Juniata staying right in it. Only a 1-point game, 7-8. Now an opportunity to tie it up.
Well, that's what good teams do. Teams that are down but still stick with it, those are the types of teams that are the most hardworking. I mean, Juniata knows how good of a team they can be. They know how good they can play. They know how good of players they have. And with that mentality, they know they can stick with it, and that's why they keep on pressing on and pressing on, despite Ramapo's momentum swings that they've had towards them.
Coach Romchek being forced to take a timeout. It's tied up 8-8. Dawson, Juniata making a lot of pressure being in the CVC tournament. Maybe that starting to get to some of these younger players. Again, a lot of these teams in the CVC, young teams, freshmen, sophomores, not a whole lot of seniors on these rosters so far. Leland Haseki now back to serve.
The height of that jump by Van Thine right there was astounding. You see how high he got up? He almost touched the rafters.
He's just phenomenal. He's been so far this game. Unfortunately, the Roadrunners not able to get it done there, but fortunate in the eyes of the Eagles of Juniata College. Dawson, this could really come down to a game of the superstars on this team. Quinn Peterson, Joe Fick, Eric Van Thine of the Roadrunners. These are going to be the guys who are going to be called upon late in the games when it comes to crunch time. These are the clutch all-stars on this team. Point goes to the Roadrunners.
Yeah, Vanderwell getting a good hit there. Able to tip the fingers of the Juniata Eagles. And very fortunately, too, because that hit was a little high. If it hadn't tipped the fingers of some of those Eagles players, it would have simply gone out of bounds.
Vanderwick back to serve. Still alive for the Eagles. Peterson, there it is! Quinn Peterson putting it down, put his team up 15-11.
Quinn Peterson with his 7th kill of the game. And it's coming at a time where they're really starting to take that momentum.
And Dawson now Peterson tied up with Eric Van Thine. 7 kills apiece for these two phenomenal first-team CVC players. Number 11, Stephen Cotaspoto, putting that one down. And Dawson is starting to get into the head of the Eagles there. Just saw that ball slam to the ground. Looks like the referee was going to issue a warning. Elects not to, though. But you have to think, in the eyes of Juniata College, you've let the Roadrunners take a set off of you. It has to be frustrating.
Well, it definitely has to be. I mean, but at the same time, you have to control those emotions. You have to make sure you keep yourself in check and just simply play your style of ball.
2 point.
Sorry about that, Chris, because again, if you're Juniata, you're fully capable. You have such great talent, and so just play, and you'll get in your rhythm.
And you're absolutely right, Dawson. Juniata didn't make it into the top 25 because of the luck of the draw. They earned their way there. They're a formidable team. Every team that goes against them knows that. So again, they can flip the switch anytime. It's just a matter of getting there, walking across to get to it. 16-13, Juniata College over top of the Ramapo Roadrunners in the second set. What a dig by 16. That's Tyler Plitt. But it won't lead to much as the Juniata College Eagles pick up another point on the board and move up 4 points ahead in the second set over top of the Roadrunners, 17-13. Service ace goes down for Quinn Peterson. His first service ace of the night, Dawson, and that for Juniata is their 5th service ace of the day, 6 for Ramapo.
Joe Fick putting himself out there, getting that block straight into the ground.
And Dawson, that was number 1, Josh Titus, the freshman, trying to put that one over, just blocked by Fick. 19-13. Quinn Peterson. Another service ace for Quinn Peterson. That's 2 in just this stint at the line itself. Dawson, what a game Quinn Peterson's been having today.
His serves have proven to be way too powerful for number 16, Tyler Plitt, the freshman. And so, you know, he's going to keep targeting him.
That one just a little bit too long, but Dawson, nothing can take away from the amazing stint that Peterson just put on from behind the line. He had 7 kills on night, tied up with Eric Van Thyn, 2 service aces. He's hit .333 hit percentage, stepping up when his team needs him most. They'll look for him again, and he responds. Dawson, is there anything that the Roadrunners can do to slow down Quinn Peterson right now?
I mean, you have number 12 for your team, Charlo, who was doing a good job of getting those blocks in there. Unfortunately, not in the game for the Roadrunners right now, getting a little bit of a breather. But when he's in the game, Peterson tends to slow down a little bit. And so I feel like the sooner you can get him back in, the better.
Roadrunners superstar Eric Van Thyn responding with that one.
With some authority, as he always does.
Dawson mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this game could come down really to the productivity of Quinn Peterson and Eric Van Thyn. The way it's going right now, we were wondering what superstar for the Eagles would step up in this game. It appears to be Peterson, but Joe Fick making an argument for himself just then, picking up his 5th kill. But we always knew it would be Eric Van Thyn of the Roadrunners. Back to serve now, number 7, Kevin Duffy. Eagles lead 22-15, running away with this second set. Inches long by the Roadrunners. 23-15 Eagles. Eagles running away with this second set. Commanding lead.
And I feel like if the Eagles are able to win this set, I feel like that could be really the tide for them to really start taking command.
Not if number 2, Brendan Russell, has anything to say about it, Dawson, the senior from South Plainfield, New Jersey. Putting that one down for the Roadrunners. 23-16. Dawson is a long hill ahead of the Roadrunners, but you'd think they'd be up for it.
They absolutely are. They're absolutely ready for this as we see Van Thyn ready to serve.
Just long by Eric Van Thyn, and a fortunate series of events for the Roadrunners leads to a set point opportunity for the Eagles, and now Juniata College an opportunity to tie it up 1-1.
Van Thyn was a little too ready for that.
Now number 9, Michael Young. Set point for the Eagles. They'll call a violation on the Roadrunners, Dawson.
Yeah, just got too far underneath the net for that. It cost them.
Mental mistakes plaguing both teams throughout that second set. The Eagles of Juniata College able to pull out in the very end on what was a great run to bring them up 8 points. Dawson now tied up 1-1. Going into the third set, what's it going to take for these teams to pull ahead?
Well, for Juniata, it's going to take what they just did just then. Using Quinn Peterson.
Welcome back to the KSN coverage of the CVC tournament, round 1, game 2, as the Roadrunners of Ramapo are taking on the Eagles of Juniata. Chris Lyle alongside Dawson Weidrich. Dawson, 2 teams tied up 1 set apiece. It was all Roadrunners in the first and a close one on to the very end. Then it was all Eagles in the second after that late game run led by Quinn Peterson.
It absolutely was. And even in the beginning of the second set, Ramapo was doing a great job of just taking control, making a lot of great plays. But Juniata started to wake up a little bit. Again, you mentioned Quinn Peterson and him being utilized, and also Joe Fick, and these 2 guys who, again, are first team all CVC and very capable of taking over games, slowly starting to do that. But Ramapo wanting to get revenge for that loss they had just a week ago to Juniata College, and compared to 3 seed.
And yeah, Dawson, we mentioned it before the game. The Roadrunners coming into this 15-14, a winning record on the season, but just barely 7-4 in CVC play. Meanwhile, the Eagles of Juniata 20-7, 9-2 in the CVC. You have a formerly top 25 team in the nation going up against the Roadrunners, who Juniata beat just a week ago. So to have them split sets right here, testament to the Roadrunners' work ethic, but also a testament to the ability of Juniata. And when they turn on the switch and get things fired up, they're almost unstoppable.
Right here, Chris.
What a great dig by number 18, Daniel Voronov. And it'll end with the Eagles putting it down. Quinn Peterson putting another one down in his name, and he'll finally pull ahead of Eric Van Thyn.
And he now has 10 kills, and like you said, Eric Van Thyn also with 8 kills. Dominated the back and forth between the two players.
And also, not only that, the hit percentage between the two, you have Quinn Peterson hitting a 4.29 and Eric Van Thyn hitting a 4.38. So both of these players, when called upon, delivering with great success. That set, Dawson, just a little bit too close to the net, results in a point for the Eagles. Just a little bit of a mental lapse for number 1, Josh Titus of the Roadrunners. We've seen him have a couple of those today. Number 9, Michael Young back to serve. Eagles lead 2-0 beginning of the third set. Right into the face of number 19, Joe Fick. And Dawson, you have to be careful if you're Joe Fick. You don't want to be on too many receiving ends of shots like that.
No, you do not. Again, we mentioned the nose before, how he broke it just a week ago and has been trying to rest it and figure some things out. And it's, again, we mentioned before that health has been an issue for Juniata this week. And that's been the main focus of Coach DeHaven.
So another kill in the name of Quinn Peterson brings the Eagles up 3-1 in the third set. Back to serve now number 14, Leland Haseki. Haseki. Service ace for Haseki. Dawson's service ace has been quite a stat line and storyline for today. That's the 5th for the Eagles. Meanwhile, the Roadrunners have 6 service aces on the night. Compare that with the number of service errors. 8 for Juniata, 12 for Ramapo in this game.
And that last one was kind of peculiar because there was 3 players surrounding it, just nobody communicated.
That time, Steven caught his photo, putting it down, making it a 2-point game. Roadrunners down by 2. Eagles lead 4-2 in the third set. Now checking into this game, number 15, Andrew Finnegan for the Roadrunners, and also number 2, Will Hafen for the Eagles. Will Hafen, a sophomore, standing at 5'11" from Las Vegas, Nevada. Formerly played his ball at Bishop Gorman High School. Look for Fick. Down it goes for Joe Fick.
We mentioned before that the winner of this game faced off against the Cougars of Kane University, and how those players are here tonight scouting on these two teams. If I'm them, I mean, obviously everybody in the country is doing this, but you're looking at Joe Fick and Quinn Peterson, how they're playing today. And you're thinking, how could we slow them down with our own personnel? What would we do against that?
Another net violation against the Roadrunners, Dawson, especially as of late at the end of that second set and here in the beginning of the third. That has plagued the Roadrunners so far.
It really has. I mean, they get too excited, they get too far underneath the net, and the refs not having a discussion with the head coach from Ramapo, Coach Mike Hrachvik.
Looks like Coach Harovchek of the Roadrunners work things out. Still a 6-2 game. Eagles lead. Now back to serve number 20, David Hibner, junior from Burke, Virginia. Picking up a block, and who else? Quinn Peterson.
This has been his game so far. Most of the big plays, if not all of them, for Juniata, I mean, besides Joe Fick, I mean, have had Quinn Peterson's name on them.
Hibner back to serve again. Eagles lead 7-2. Too far by Hibner. Point Roadrunners, 3-7 game, down by 4.
Now let's see if Ramapo can take advantage of this.
Dawson, we've seen them throughout this game. When given the opportunity to get back in it and take advantage, they more often than not do. Not able to get it done there. Comes off the hands of number 9, Jason Vanderwilt. A little bit too strong. Now, Dawson, a dangerous situation for the Roadrunners and a great situation for the Eagles. You have Quinn Peterson back there. He's shown us the ability to put it down. He has 2 service aces on the night with 3 service errors. Very consistent from behind the line.
He has been. Those 2 service errors came from the last time he was back there to serve in the second set. I mean, he just started taking control with his serving.
Peterson. Chalk it up again for Peterson. Now 9-3 in Dawson. The Eagles carrying the momentum they have from the second into the third. 6-point lead. Foot violation by Quinn Peterson. You just saw that throw maybe a little bit too far in front of him.
As good as he was in serving today, he has been prone to do that from time to time.
9-4 game, back to serve number 11, Stephen Spoto of the Roadrunners. Service error, so when gifted the opportunity, Ramapo not able to convert. Number 2, Will Hafen comes and sits down on the bench, and number 14, Leland Haseki comes in for him for Juniata. And Dawson picking up where he left off. Number 12, Connor Charlo, putting another one down in his name and another one on the board for the Roadrunners. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, we hadn't been able to say his name from play since really early on in the second set. He was heavily involved in that victory in the first set.
And there he is again, service ace. Dawson, he was taken out earlier in the second set, and it was the first time we've seen him since Coach Mike Horovchik deciding he's had enough rest, put him back in the game, put your impact guy back in. Charlo now 3 service aces on tonight for the big man. Just wide for Charlo. Very close to making it 4 service aces, Dawson.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. There was not very much coverage on this near side, and just maybe 2 inches to the left, and it would have been in.
But now number 7, Kevin Duffy, back to serve for the Eagles. Just long by Duffy.
And quick on a C was Jason Vanderwilt. You see he was going in the rotation and almost got hit by the serve unintentionally.
And Dawson, Jason Vanderwilt, one of the bigger volleyball players in the CVC, 6'5", 215 pounds, big man, light on his feet. Another big man light on his feet, number 20, David Hibner. And everything's been falling for Peterson, hitting 4.29 on the day, so why not keep looking for it and why not put everything you have behind it like he's done today? Dawson, there it is again. Call upon Quinn Peterson. He'll put a point down on the board for you. 16-10 is the score. Juniata College leading the Roadrunners of Ramapo. And Dawson, a broken play through and through for the Eagles leads to an easy point for the Roadrunners.
Roadrunners will take that any day. And you mentioned Coach Horovchik talking about his young players. Now he's playing on building his team around them. I mean, you just look at the roster. It's littered with underclassmen. Just totally full of all these guys that Coach Horovchik can just raise up and nurture to be great players in this conference.
What a dig, number 16, Tyler Plitt. Tyler Plitt, another one of those freshmen Coach Horovchik talked to me about before the game, trying to build this team around. And Dawson, you have to think the future is bright at Ramapo College with the number of underclassmen. You have 2 seniors on the team, one of those seniors being a starter. And of course, you have Eric Van Thine back for one more year. You look at them this year, they come into as a 6th seed. Maybe next year they can be just a little bit more.
I mean, a good example of this is Kean University and Southern Virginia University. both those teams, I mean, Southern Virginia University had a hard time getting to the 6th seed in the CVC. And look at them now, they're the number 1 seed in the conference. Same with Kane University, just a couple years ago, barely a 6th or 5th seed. Now they're number 2 seed in the conference, and both the teams ranked in the top 10 nationally. And so it doesn't take very long for you to build a program in a conference like this. It's been proven anyway, that doesn't take long.
And Dawson, especially in the CVC, it seems like the CVC, the Continental Volleyball Conference, breeds winning. It breeds champions. When you come into the CVC, you come into a winning program, no matter what school you go to, whether it be a 6 seed heading to the tournament and Ramapo, or a 1 seed when you go to Southern Virginia University. You're going to a winner, it seems like. That's great to have the CVC here. All the great coaches just around the league and around the conference to help grow these young players, mature them into great men, and then send them off into the world. Juniata College up 18-11 over top of the Roadrunners of Ramapo. Back to serve now, number 12, Quinn Peterson. And Dawson, speaking of one of those great young men, Quinn Peterson having a whale of a game tonight. 9 kills, 2 service aces, 4 digs, 1 block. He's been absolutely everywhere.
All of that serve did go everywhere, but inbounds.
Service error come from the hands of Quinn Peterson. Ball now with the Roadrunners, number 11, Stephen Contaspoto. Point goes down for the Roadrunners. Stephen Contaspoto stays behind the line for service for Ramapo.
Notice that the players have had to mop the floor quite a few times. It's hot in this arena. It's gotten heated in here. I mean, not just with the competition, but literally. I mean, people in this arena are sweating. It is very humid in here.
Joe Fick. Dawson, it seems like we haven't said the name of Joe Fick quite enough throughout this broadcast, but right there picking up his 9th kill, 2nd underneath Quinn Peterson in kills between both squads. He's 1 kill above Eric Van Thyn. And now we'll see Joe Fick here, the junior from Venetia, Pennsylvania. Another point for the Eagles. That time number 7, Kevin Duffy getting it done. Dawson, summing up this 3rd set, it's been a game of the stars so far for the Eagles. Kevin Duffy getting it done. Quinn Peterson getting it done the entire game. Joe Fick stepping up. And David Hibner all getting it done. All CVC, all conference athletes. But again, volleyball is a team sport.
Yeah, we hadn't said Kevin Duffy's name in a while. He gets a point in there under his name.
That time, Connor Charlo putting it down.
I tell you what, when he's feeling it, the Roadrunners are feeling it. He's been the centerpiece of this team. I mean, Eric Van Thyn has done a great job as well, but it seems like when Charlo is being successful, everyone else around him thrives.
Well, Charlo has 4 kills on the night, 2 blocks, but an astounding 4 service aces on the day. Net violation against the Eagles leads to a free point for the Roadrunners, and Connor Charlo would take his spot behind that line. 5-point game. Juniata College leads Rampano 20-15. Charlo into the net. 21-15, Juniata College over Ramapo.
And Charlo will get taken out in favor of number 16, Tyler Plitt.
Back to serve now, number 3, Bryce Workman, senior from Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Eagles able to keep it alive. Net violation against the Eagles again, that time David Hibner. Still a 5-point game.
So he jumped a little too early there for that block, and therefore on the way down, swung down at the ball, and therefore into the net.
Back to serve now, number 1, Josh Titus, freshman from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Young. Titus. Point goes down for Eric Van Thyn and the Roadrunners. 17-21, 4-point game. And Van Thyn picks up his 9th kill of the day. Titus. Just like that, number 14, Leland Haseki. Dawson, it seems so far the Eagles really flexing their muscle in this third set.
They really are, and you know, we kept talking about how this has been a game of stars for Juniata. A lot of other people have stepped up as well. I mean, number 14, Leland Haseki, that's the first time we've said his name on the broadcast, and then a couple others like number 14, number 20, David Hibner, who is one of those all-CVC players, but I mean, these players we haven't really talked about so far today are starting to step up in this third set.
Dawson, speaking of stepping up, the Roadrunners now, they've made it 18-22, a 4-point game, and Eric Van Thyn back to serve. Just long by Van Thyn. 23-18, Eagles up in the third set. Leland Haseki now to serve, an opportunity to bring his team that much closer from taking this third set. Haseki into the net, Leland Haseki. And Dawson, when time is called upon, the Roadrunners somehow just keep staying in it.
They really do. They've really been showing their mental toughness. And I'll tell you who else showed their mental toughness. Number 20, David Hibner. He's got hit straight in the back with a ball. Didn't even react. Didn't even change his expression. I find that very impressive. Not related to the game, but impressive personally.
Speak of impressive, Connor Charlo. Another block for Charlo. And Dawson, it's a 3-point game. The Roadrunners have clawed their way back. And very much like they did in the second. But if history repeats itself, the Eagles are going to flex their muscle just a little bit more and pull away with it. And that is a crucial miss by the Roadrunners. It leads to a set-point opportunity for Juniata.
I'll tell you one thing, though. With the first game between Marymount and Rutgers Newark and this second game of the first round, it has not disappointed. It's been tight sets all the way around. I mean, yes, Marymount ended up winning 3-1, but each set was within 4 points or less.
Set point opportunity for the Eagles. Looks like they call a net violation against the Eagles in Dawson. 24-21 game. Back to serve now, Jason Vanderwilt. Still set point for the Eagles. Vanderwilt. Roadrunners trying to keep it alive. Net violation on the Eagles, that time against number 7, Kevin Duffy. And Dawson, Roadrunners still staying in it due to the mistakes of the Eagles.
Yeah, Kevin Duffy pulled down that net like he was trying to pull down the sail in a windstorm. I mean, there was no hiding that he got that.
Dawson, I want to know where you come up with this stuff. You must be at home writing them in the book.
I make my own material on the spot, Chris. You should know this. But no, like you said, the Roadrunners doing a very good job of keeping things interesting, keeping things tight, and not giving up.
And Dawson,
go ahead, Chris.
You mentioned, sorry about that, you just mentioned the excitement that we've seen just so far in the first day, only first day with 2 games played today, Marymount beating Rutgers Newark. CVC tournament has proven to be exciting throughout this game, right there, back and forth. And again, the winner of this game will go on to face number 2 seeded Kane tomorrow. And again, the Saints of Marymount will face off against the number 1 seed Southern Virginia Knights tomorrow. Those games are at 4:30 and then at 7:30 right here at Rockbridge County High School, hosted by Southern Virginia and the Knight Sports Network. A set point opportunity again for the Eagles. Just wide. And just like that, Joe Fick and the Eagles taking set number 3 to the tune of 25-22 over top of the Roadrunners of Ramapo. And Dawson, it was a tight one all the way to the very end. The Roadrunners able to make a late run. Looks like they were going to get back in it, but the Eagles flexing the muscle like they've done the entire game and finishing it out strong.
Yeah, and I think Ramapo has done a great job bringing the energy today. They've done a great job at fighting back, but I feel like Juniata has just done a better job of utilizing all their weapons fully in these last few sets. And that's the advantage so far.
Thank you, Dawson. Great insight. And with that, we'll take a quick break between the third and fourth set. Juniata College Eagles leading 2-1 over top of the Roadrunners of Ramapo. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the first round coverage of the CVC first round tournament as the Roadrunners of Ramapo take on the Eagles of Juniata College. Chris Fowler alongside Dawson Weidrich. Dawson entering this fourth set. Could be the final one of the game as the Eagles lead 2-1 over top of the 6th seed Roadrunners of Ramapo.
And again, they did that with some great consistent play, some great serving, by the way, especially from Quinn Peterson. And Quinn Peterson really got things started. As soon as he got on fire, a lot of the players from Juniata started to join in.
And just like that, the Eagles picking up where they left off, putting that one down. Eagles draw first blood in this fourth set. First service for the Eagles will be number 9, Michael Young, junior from Westlake Village, California. And Dawson, so far today, Young has done a great job behind the line, being that consistent player the Eagles seem to have needed. Eagles now lead 2-0. And Michael Young back to serve again. Eagles not able to keep alive. First point on the fourth set for the Roadrunners. Dawson, an extremely exciting weekend.
Your strengths, and just simply, like you said before, play the way you do and hope for the best. Simple as that.
Great insight, Dawson, but you have to think with these teams that maybe don't have as many first team all CVC players or second or third team. We see Eric Van Thyn of Ramapo. He's first team all CVC, a great player, especially at his size and that position, 6 foot tall, playing the outside hitter position, be able to do what he does. It's absolutely phenomenal. But there's so many players throughout the CVC. We see Ian Cap of Kane, Noel Reckabarn, Cougar Clark of the Southern Virginia Knights, and a number of players throughout the CVC that can just take a game by the scruff of the neck and make it there. So hard to defend against if you're a team like Ramapo or a smaller team that maybe didn't make it into the CVC tournament like we saw with Elizabethtown with their star Nick Baxter.
And I think, kind of going back to your point, Chris, I mean, when you're a team that's ranked lower, doesn't have as many star players, you have to play smarter and more passionately than the team that has that advantage over you. Because if you play smarter, you're going to have a better chance. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't play intelligently, you're not going to be very successful.
And that one put down by the Eagles. The Eagles now finding all the success they want. And Dawson, despite us saying that, it's still a 2-point game. The Roadrunners have stayed in it just with pure grit, it seems like. Serving now, number 19, Joe Fick. Service error for Fick. Josh Titus now back to serve. Designated server freshman from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. We've seen him on a number of Roadrunner plays. That one put down by the Roadrunners. Dawson, just like that, it's 7-7. Teams swapping blows back and forth throughout this set.
We haven't seen energy like this from Ramapo since the second set. And when they play with that energy again, they keep things interesting. And in fact, when they play with that energy in the first set, they took that victory, I guess I should say, and made things interesting. And so if they keep this up, they can make things even more interesting and force a fifth set.
Justin Dawson going back to that set number 1, the one the Roadrunners really stole away from the Eagles right there at the very end, went in extra points. Starting to come alive here in this fourth set. That time, Duffy for the Eagles. And Dawson, just as we think the Roadrunners maybe have a little bit of momentum, here comes Duffy to shut them down. Kevin Duffy now back to serve. Kevin Duffy having an amazing game so far. Freshman, he has 5 kills, hitting a 182, so not the greatest, but he's come up with a number of blocks for this Eagles squad. For the Eagles attack. Just long coming off the hands of Eric Van Thyn. Juniata College takes a 1-point lead, 11-10. Back to serve now, number 20, David Hibner. Dawson, we mentioned him a little bit today. David Hibner having really one of the best sets he's had today, just in the last couple of points.
Yeah, he's really had quite the impact. And being a big guy playing in the back row, that's really a credit to him because not a lot of bigger guys can handle that.
Dawson, he's shown his versatility throughout today. Like you said, playing the front row and back row and really excelling at both. Timeout taken by head coach Harovchek of the Roadrunners. Needs a time to talk things over, Dawson. If you're head coach Harovchek of Ramapo, you guys are only down by 2. What can you tell them to get them to over that hump of not just getting it tied, but to take the lead?
Well, I mean, right now he's just simply letting his players think things over. But I think, first off, you tell them you're putting forth great effort. She's a great effort out there, some great diving plays. Again, you saw a couple plays ago, number 16, Tyler Plitt, throwing himself out there to get that dig and getting the other 13 that he's had today. Just keep making plays like that. It's those plays we're going to have to do in order to beat Juniata. They're not going to hand you anything. In fact, they're going to throw it at you as hard as they can. And so you got to learn how to receive it well. You got to learn how to handle the pressure and just put forth as much effort as you can. You can't sleep on any play against Juniata.
And Dawson, you mentioned not throwing away points. That's something we haven't seen really at all throughout this fourth set. We saw it a lot in the first and a lot in the second. Both teams, both the Roadrunners and the Eagles, giving up 3 points, whether it be off service errors or of the like, but haven't seen that a lot throughout the day. David Hibner now back to serve again. Picked up a service ace there, did Hibner. 13-10, Juniata over top of Ramapo. Spiked down hard by Kevin Duffy, and really nothing the Roadrunners could do to get a hand on that.
Kevin Duffy slowly climbing his way up the kill board for his team. I mean, we keep saying he's really exploded in this set.
That time, Joe Fick. Dawson, it seems like when the Eagles have that opportunity to put it away right there at the net, they do so with these. That time, Joe Fick getting his name on the board. That's his 14th kill. He's tied it up with Quinn Peterson, and it's been a quiet performance from Fick so far.
It really has. I mean, he hasn't had now and then all of a sudden he'll put his stamp on things, and it's consistent enough to get 14 kills.
Just long by Eric Van Thyn. And just like that, Dawson, the Eagles take a 16-10 lead over top of the Roadrunners, 6 straight points. And it's really come from the hands of the man who's serving it, David Hibner. And just as I say that, Dawson, right into the net was Hibner. That on the day is Juniata's 17th service error.
See, that play you can justify the term announcer's curse. Not always, but you know what? It sometimes happens.
But also, he had 6 straight points from behind the line, so I hope he can be happy with that and not be too upset and strife with me after the game. 17
he
to
will
11.
find you.
17-11, Juniata College leads Ramapo. Now back to serve number 12. This is Quinn Peterson, senior, standing at 6'6" from Las Vegas, Nevada. Fick falls just wide for Joe Fick. Point goes for the Roadrunners.
And we were just talking about Joe Fick being quiet. You know, it has been quiet the past set and a half. Eric Van Thyn. Eric Van Thyn has been really quiet for the past the past set. He hasn't really gotten comfortable. He hasn't gotten in a rhythm.
That time finding Kevin Duffy and then finding another point. 18-12 is the score. Eagles so far flexing their muscle yet again like they did in the third. Late, really midway through this fourth set. It was close up until it got to 10-10, and the Eagles really pulled away.
They really have. Kevin Duffy, number 7, getting his 7th kill of the day.
Kill goes down for number 9, Jason Vanderwilt, and Dawson. Vanderwilt picks up his 7th kill of the night, and just like Fick, it's been a quiet one. Vanderwilt not hitting the best hit percentage because he's been targeted a lot this game, just not able to get it done to the extent he'd like to. Now serving Josh Titus. And Dawson, that'll go down as a block for number 2, Brendan Russell.
That was a nice block. Again, great effort from Joe Fick to try to recover it, but overall, a great block from Russell.
And that hit by Haseki way too far. And just like that, Dawson, 3-point game was a 6-point game just moments ago. Roadrunners able to cut the deficit. Josh Titus to serve. Peterson. Just long by Quinn Peterson. Dawson, again, that could have gone either way.
Oh, that was a very lucky play for the Roadrunners. I mean, Quinn Peterson had the perfect situation. In the air, all by himself, no blockers in front of him, nothing but court right in front of him. Just got too excited.
Just short by Josh Titus, and that'll give the Eagles 19 points. It's 19-16, still a 3-point game. Checking back into this game for the Eagles, number 20, David Hibner. And number 7, Kevin Duffy, will make his way to the bench. Now serving number 3, Bryce Workman. Just inside the line, service ace for Workman. Dawson, no one on the Roadrunners team back in that back left corner to corral that.
No, again, just some great replay serves from the Eagles.
Great dig by Workman. It'll go down as a point for the Roadrunners. Dawson, what a set it was by Josh Titus, reaching over one hand to set it up for number 11, Steven Cotaspoto.
And pulls a win 3, 20-17. Roadrunners now fighting for their postseason lives.
Ball with the Roadrunners. Cotaspoto. Roadrunners trying to say that it came off the fingertips. Late call by the officials. Bring it to the side of the Eagles. And Dawson head coach Mike Horovchek having a word with the officials. He's saying there's no way that ball could not have been tipped off the hand of an Eagle.
And there's a lot of people here in attendance that would agree with that. Regardless, what the ref says stays.
Peterson. Net violation against the Eagles. And Dawson, late in this 4-set, tensions are getting higher and temperatures are starting to flare, especially with the head coaches Horovchek having a word with the officials, and just then head coach Glenn DeHaven extremely upset and cross with the call against Quinn Peterson and his Eagles. 21-17 is the score. Just wide coming from Van Thyn. 22-17, number 9, Michael Young back to serve. And Dawson, crucial moment for both teams. If the Eagles get this, they're 2 points away from taking it home in match point. The Roadrunners need to fight for their lives.
Well, if the Eagles get the 23, it's very hard to come back from if you're Ramapo. I mean, it's being at 23 points, 1 point away from set point right now. That's just a hard hole to come out of, especially how consistent.
Dawson, that's the word that you can bring up with the Eagles. Late in sets, they've been consistent. Able to put it together late and really flex their muscle. Dawson, they're proving why they're a nationally acclaimed program. That time, Steven Cotaspoto hitting that one down. But Dawson, is it too little too late for the Roadrunners?
I don't think it's ever too late for anybody in any game. They just have to play perfect volleyball for the next 5 points. And that's really hard to do, but not impossible.
Finnegan. Just falls in right into the dead zone of the Roadrunners. No one there. It's match point for the Juniata College Eagles. And if they take this game, they'll go on and face number 2 seed Kane. They'll face the Cougars of Kane in what will be the semifinals tomorrow. Game starting at 4 was the Saints of Marymount take on the Southern Virginia Knights. Match point. And it ends in the worst way possible for the Roadrunners. Agony on the side of Ramapo. Delight in the side of the Juniata College Eagles as they win in the first round of the CVC tournament. And they'll go on to the semifinals to face number 2 seed Kane. Again, those games starting at 4 as the Saints of Marymount take on the Knights of SVU. Then immediately following that, it'll be the Eagles of Juniata facing off against number 2 seed Kane. And just like we had in the first game, we'll bring you an exclusive interview with winning head coach, this one being Glenn DeHaven of the Juniata College Eagles. We hope to bring that to you soon. Now we have head coach Glenn DeHaven after his win against the Roan with Dawson Weidrich.
I'm with head coach DeHaven of Juniata, and first round win. Now you had some great play from Quinn Peterson and Joe Fick. Just tell us about the game they had today.
Well, I mean, looking at the stats, they've been our guys all year. They're our workhorses. They worked hard. 14 kills for both of them. I can't say enough about what they do, and they're kind of the heart and soul of our offense right now. So it's fun to see them play this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ramapo just never seemed to go away. They always kept in the fight. What was something that your guys were able to do to come out with a victory today?
I think we're lucky that we're a little bit more physical than they are, because they are a great team. They're scrappy. Balls keep coming up. They keep taking really good swings. I just think we got the better of them tonight. We got lucky at times because, like I said, they're a great team. We lucked out that Joe and Quinn played so well down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And your next opponent will be Kane University, and a very tough opponent. What are some things you guys can do against them tomorrow night to come out with a victory there?
They're a great team. They're big. They're physical. We're going to have to play really well. We're going to have to control the ball and serve receive. Our middles have to be a little bit more of a factor tomorrow than they were tonight, which is not going to be easy because of Kane's size. And let's hope that Quinn and Joe show up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Coach. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Chris, back to you.
All right.
Thanks so much, Coach. Yeah, no problem.
Done, and moving on to the semifinals of the CVC tournament. We thank you so much for joining us on the Night Sports Network. We hope to see you again tomorrow. Game starting at 4:30 as the number 5 seed Marymount Saints take on the Southern Virginia Knights, and then immediately following that, number 3 Juniata faces off seed number 2 in the Cougars of Kane. We hope to see you then. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later.